listening to Operation Self-Reset with Jake Nawrocki. What is going on, Resetters? This is Operation Self-Reset, and I am Jacob Nawrocki. Again, like always, thank you for tuning in and listening to episode number 21 of the Operation Self-Reset podcast. If you are a fan of the show, you know that I have not been around for the last month and a couple of weeks. And if you're new to the show, welcome. I appreciate your support. Hopefully you enjoy and love this content to reset, to transform, and change your life to everything that you want and crave and desire. I have been missing in action because I took a promotional exam within the last month here. And it was for a job promotion within my full-time job, which I have. I love podcasting. I love doing the Operation Self-Reset. But currently, it is not my full-time gig yet. But someday, I strive it will be. And I know that within myself because it's one of my goals. Like, you guys should have goals. But anyway, before we get into goal setting, this is really, today's podcast is going to be about my journey through this promotional exam because it can help the resources and links and everything that I'm going to share with you guys today. It can help you not only if you're a student, and also too if you are a person taking a promotional exam and or a person that deals with paperwork and needs to focus daily. I really think that some of the tips that I have acquired over the last month here can really help you stay focused and on task with everything that comes into your plate. So let's dive into kind of the beginning here. You know, when I was thinking about, trying to juggle both, I realized that I could not. And it was a good thing for me to understand that because it was difficult to do the podcast, a weekly podcast, and achieve my goal of this promotional exam. The reasoning is because I have the ultimate goal of becoming a motivational speaker. And to achieve that, sometimes you need to focus on one task at a time, especially when it's very difficult for you to get the time to achieve your goals. And if you have been listening, I have a newborn son. His name's Nolan, 6 months old. Awesome little guy. I can't believe he's already 6 months old. It's unbelievable. But because I want to talk to you guys about setting priorities, that was the number one thing. I realized family comes first, like anything. And second of all, you have other things going on. It's just a matter of prioritizing which ones you feel need to be taken care of instantly. So when I realized this promotional exam at the end of July, and the written portion of this exam was going to become or available October 2nd, I knew I really needed to bunker down. And at the time, I was like, okay, you know what? I can juggle a lot of things. My wife is still off because of her leave for having our newborn child. And I was like, this is ideal timing. I can juggle the podcast. I can do the promotional exam, the written exam process, and also to do daily tasks, live my life, still see friends and family and all that stuff. Well, I soon realized I could not juggle it all. I'm only one individual. I didn't have any extra help with doing this podcast, and I knew I had to cut that back. And it was really difficult for me to do that. But again, that's why I really feel setting goals in your personal life can really give your life direction, whatever it may be. In podcast number 14, I talk about setting goals. I have daily goals, I have weekly goals, I have yearly goals and monthly goals and all different types of goals. And the reason why I do that is because it gives my weeks, my days, my months, my years, an outline to follow. Just like yourself, you follow an outline when you're either writing a speech or accomplishing a task. There are certain steps you need to take. Just like if you are living your own life, you need to set these goals so you can achieve them one by one. And I realized that I needed to give it my all for this promotional exam to achieve my big goal. And that meant cutting out the podcast. And it was really difficult for me to do that. But as I look back, I'm glad I did because now I'm even more focused on the Operation Self-Reset platform here. And I appreciate your guys' support. The emails I have been receiving from you guys has been incredible. And it's been awesome. And I really do thank you for everything that you guys have given to me as much as I give you guys. So hopefully we can continue this nice little relationship. So studying for this exam is kind of broken in two parts. I had about 2 months to study for the written portion, and then I had a month for the interview. The interview was very difficult. It was very challenging, and I will discuss interview tips in a future podcast. But today I want to focus on studying, staying focused, staying motivated, and achieving your goal as the reason why I decided to take this promotional exam. So first thing, like anything, when you really dive into something, you really want something for your own personal life, it's your own outline, your own plan, you need to let everybody aware of it. And I think that's a huge step. And I had a great support group. I have a wife that, is behind me 100% of the time. She's, letting me go downstairs in the basement and study for hours on end while she take care of the, our newborn. She would do the laundry, cook, clean. I mean, it was like awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better wife throughout this process. Also, too, it's ideal to let your friends know what's going on with you. And that was one thing I didn't really specify early on. And I realized I needed to let them know because they continue to wanting to go out and hang out and do different activities. And to really achieve your goals, sometimes you have to cut things out. And I cut out the podcast and I cut out going out. And that was kind of twofold because not only do I have a newborn and any free time I want to spend with my family, but also too, again, reaching that goal, you need to cut back things. And I personally believe that's very difficult to do. It's tough to say no. In podcast number 14, I talk about breaking the wrist and walking away. It's an analogy of saying that sometimes people want to grab you and take you and you're excited to go and you can't wait. It's a weekend getaway, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, you need to focus on what is important to you. And for me, it was achieving my goal of getting this promotion and also spending time with my family. So I know I needed to cut out things. And that is why it's really helpful to let other people that are in your life understand what's going on, know what's going on, make them aware, and if you don't want to tell them, just say like, hey, you know what? I have some personal things going on right now for the next month and a half. I'm going to be unable to really hang out with you. I'll call you. We'll hang out every once in a while, but I'm not going to be able to go on these weekend getaways or, camping or whatever it may be. So I believe the number one key to achieving your own personal success is letting everybody around you understand what your ultimate goal is. And they won't bother you. They'll understand and they'll be supportive. And even though they might be kind of disappointed and pissed that you're not hanging out or, you're not showing your face, whatever it may be, the key is to make them aware so they understand, so they can give you the space that you need. I truly believe that is a huge step. The second thing, when it comes to achieving your goals and preparing and studying and staying focused, we all know this. I'm not telling you anything crazy. Is about the return on the investment on the food that you take in. I think we all understand the point of healthy food, right? It makes you feel better. You get better sleep. You're more focused. You just feel healthy. You're not groggly or worn down or anything like that. And in one of the earlier podcasts, I talk about bulletproof coffee, and it's about taking butter and MCT oil or coconut oil and putting it in your coffee, blending it, and you're really reaping the benefits of, sustained fat and caffeine to kind of keep yourself stimulated for multiple hours. Early on in the process, when I was studying for this exam, I would be downstairs in the basement. And to give you a background on what this exam entailed, it was 100 questions, and it was about national certifications, state laws, also our own policies and procedures, number notices, a lot of information. It was about over 6,000 pages of information I needed to memorize for 100 questions. And I'm not saying that's a lot. I mean, everybody, does crazy exams and more or less, whatever it may be, but it was something that I really needed to focus in on because I am not a bookie kind of guy. I'm not book smart, but I understand the power of trying my best, staying focused, really wanting to absorb the information and make sure that every time that I sit down in front of these books is the most ideal time for myself to really absorb whatever I'm reading. And of course, there are times I'm distracted and I'm thinking about different things. But throughout this process, I knew I really needed to stay focused. So in the beginning, I drank a lot of that bulletproof coffee. I drank a lot of tea. I did a lot of, any type of caffeinated substance I would drink before studying. And did it help? Yes, it did, of course. But it only helped me to an extent. I realized that I personally have a very active brain, and you may too. Either you're thinking about your own personal hobbies or maybe things that need to get done around the house, or your mind is half, in the books, half at your desk, whatever it may be, and the other half It is floating around, trying to organize your next day, trying to organize what you're going to do this weekend with the family, whatever it may be. And I realized when I would get caffeinated, I would really start to focus on the things that did not matter at that time. Even though I was sitting down and reading, the books and highlighting and making flashcards and all that stuff, I realized that it wasn't helping me stay caffeinated because that caffeine would almost really take me away from what I was trying to achieve. And I realized right then and there that I need to cut that caffeine out. So I did. I cut out caffeine, 100% of it. I didn't go to Starbucks. I didn't make any at my house. I didn't even drink any green tea. And it was horrible. Have you ever tried not drinking coffee or caffeine supplement for 2 weeks? It's very difficult. And like I was stating before, I don't want to say I drink pots of coffee every single day, but I do enjoy cups of coffee once a day or throughout the day, whatever it may be. And so once I cut that out, it was unbelievable. After that second week, I can truly, truly say that I had a sustained, constant energy buzz. I felt good. I was motivated. I was really focused. I was really dialed into the material I was doing. Of course, I had my tangents and I wasn't feeling it or whatever, but I knew certain things to do to keep my mind in the game. And what were some other things that I did to keep my mind in the game? Well, like I said, I cut out caffeine, and I'm telling you, give it a try. If you are always relying on caffeine or that coffee and you're always going back to the coffee pot to get that extra cup, try cutting it out. Honestly, it was really a magical experience. And to replace my caffeine, I started drinking coconut water. And there is a new coconut company that I don't want to speak of just yet because I contacted them to get them on the podcast. And I really enjoyed drinking coconut water. It gave me the hydration I needed. It gave me the little sweet I needed. And it made me feel healthy and rejuvenated. So hopefully in the next coming podcast here, I can tell you more about coconut water. But from there, I would like to talk to you about what I started eating. I also, along with cutting out caffeine, I cut out deep fried foods. Again, nothing crazy. Oh my gosh, deep fried foods, craziness. No, I just started reducing my intake of bad foods. And you know what bad foods are. I'm not going to go through it. It's the fast foods, it's the processed foods, and everything like that. And I realized that I needed to start just eating basic, simple foods: chicken, broccoli, chicken, sweet potato, meat, and some type of side. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything fancy. And also, too, when we go out to lunch or dinner, I would eat a lot of salads, basic meals. And I'm not saying that you need to do this to achieve your own personal best, but I tell you what, like I said, 2 weeks is the difference maker of becoming a new person when it comes to your health. If you can get over that 2-week hump, I am telling you, you will feel amazing. Give it a try. And, throughout this process, it wasn't like I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm never going to drink coffee again. I'm never going to eat deep fried foods. I'm never going to eat junk foods or whatever. I realized that I had a goal within 2 months. And I knew that if I could stay clean, eat kind of healthy and clean, that I would be able to achieve my goal of this promotion. So after the promotion, of course, I went to Starbucks and I got my pumpkin spice latte. And of course I went in and got my deep fried, buffalo wings from BW3s. Of course I did that. You got to celebrate yourself every once in a while. But keep in mind, you are able to achieve your goals if you have a goal set. You can't say to yourself, I'm never going to drink coffee again. I'm never going to eat deep fried foods. I'm never going to eat a Snickers bar, because you'd be lying to yourself. There's no possible way you can get through life like that. So the key is to kind of set yourself up for success. And by that, you need to set the goals. You need to have it in front of you and know in 3 weeks, I can have that Snickers bar or that coffee or that deep fried chicken, whatever it may be. That really helped me focus on my task at hand. For me, the other key components when it came to studying and focusing and really staying self-motivated at my task, I realized there was a couple of things that I did early on that were not working. They were trying to sit downstairs in the basement for literally an hour and a half and just sit there in the chair and plow through the material. Well, that was not ideal because I am not one to always sit in a chair. My job is very active. I also live a very active lifestyle. So for myself to sit in a chair for an hour and a half straight was very difficult. I realized I needed to break it up. I went from an hour and a half to an hour to about 50 minutes to 40 minutes, and I realized my ideal time was the 40-minute mark. That is when my mind would truly start checking out and my body would start to get stiff, and I realized I needed to get up, walk around, break away from the study material and, kind of get refocused, right? So how did I do that? Well, the things that I realized really helped for me was taking my mind off of it completely. I put my material in the basement because I knew as soon as I would go in the basement, that was my focus time. As I came on upstairs, it was my time to play, to, kind of clean up, organize, hang out with the wife and the child. So you need to kind of have a special area to really keep yourself focused. And how do you do that at work when that's, kind of where you always are? It's difficult to have your own little corner or nook within your office. Well, the key is to kind of have your little area nice and clean. I realized that when it comes to an organized lifestyle, you need to have an organized desk. And if you're able to keep everything organized in its place, you will be that much more productive. So before diving into that paperwork from your boss or diving into that study material, organize your desk, organize everything around you. And I'm telling you, if you're really obsessed about cleaning, then bring out the Windex and bring out your little microfiber cloth and start wiping down everything around you. Wipe down the phone, whatever it takes to really get your body and your mind dialed in. Do it. I'm telling you, if you have a clean desk, you'll feel good. You'll feel like, all right, I'm ready to dive in. You'll have a good posture. You'll just be feeling the energy and everything like that. So that really helped, and I really suggest that you do that in your own personal office. And also, too, when it came to studying, I always kept water and my timer in front of me. My timer was my cell phone. The good and bad of that, well, of course, I did not have people would call me, people would text message me, and it would interrupt my timing. But that's okay. I realized throughout the time process, I needed to stay focused. And the way to do that was to just check it real quick and then get back into the books. Also, too, I don't know if there's an app out there, but I highly suggest that you guys go and or invent or search or find an app that when you set your timer, that it actually locks your phone. That would be really, really cool. I think it would be really helpful too for people that are studying or trying to stay focused, especially if you know that you need to take breaks every half an hour or 40 minutes or an hour, whatever it may be. So if you can lessen the distractions, the more productivity you can achieve. And the last part is truly what I believe is the biggest part of this, and that is visualization. And I spoke of this earlier in some other podcasts and everything like that. Up to this point, there really hasn't been any secret sauce. I haven't told you anything crazy of how to stay focused at work or studying or whatever it may be. But the thing that really helped me is visualizing when it came to test date. And you can use this for a meeting. You can use this for walking into work every single day to kind of get yourself amped up, to get yourself prepared, whatever it may be. If there's something that you're nervous about, the best way to combat that is to focus on it and to visualize yourself going through the process from step one all the way to completion. And the way that I did that is every night around 10:30, I started setting reminders on my iPhone. I have an iPhone, it has reminders, and around 10:30, a little beep beep would go off and it gives myself a message and it would say, visualize. And from there, I would take literally 3 to 5 minutes and I would sit quietly. I would close my eyes, plug my ears, whatever it was, if the kid's screaming. And I would sit there and I would imagine myself waking up. I would imagine myself getting dressed. I knew exactly what clothes I was going to be wearing. I knew what I was going to be eating that day of the test. And, the way to work, how the sun was shining, the textures, the feeling of just, feeling, good, that I was going to be in a positive mood. And when I went to the facility to take the test, I knew where the test room was. I knew that it was a white room. There was multiple desks. The place would be packed. I set myself up literally like I was walking through it. It was my dry run. And, this has been scientifically proven. The discovery of visualization has kind of started in the 1960s. There was a huge movement of psychologists to really see if the brain connects to muscle fibers and your actual outcoming of your life just through the process of visualizing yourself going through the movement. So they hooked up electrodes on athletes. There was a control group that just continued to train daily. And then they took some of the athletes and they hooked up electrodes to their brain and to their muscles. And they told them to go through the routine as if they were actually going through the routine in real life, physically. And the results were unbelievable. The exact same muscle fibers, the exact same movements and twitches and everything like that fired at the exact same time as if that athlete was going through the movement physically. So it's proven that there is a connection between your mind and your body, right? So we know that if you're thinking about it, your body is reacting to it. Your body is physically feeling that texture of the wooden handles if you're doing the rings or whatever it may be. So how does this affect, though, to our daily own lives and to the normal people like you and me? Well, visualization is super, super powerful, guys. It is like the secret sauce. There is nothing better out there. There's no caffeinated drink. There's no sports drink. There's no pills or anything like that can overcome and get you to that same level of confidence and mental preparation than visualizing yourself going through it. And that's what I did personally. It calmed my nerves. It made me feel better. I felt positive. I felt ready. And I felt like I could complete this goal. I went to the minute details of going through and visualizing myself picking up the pencil and circling the dots and flipping the pages and everything like that, the textures. It's imaginable. It's an amazing thing, visualizing. And you can use this everyday life. If you're a speaker, if you are getting in front of others, coaching, not only professionally, but maybe your kid's soccer game, whatever it may be, you can visualize yourself doing everything and feel the moments, feel everything that's going on around you. And all it takes is a couple of minutes. You don't have to sit there for hours on end and the next thing you know, you're sleeping and drool on yourself. No, the key is to really know what you are fighting for, know what you're working towards, know what your goal is, and visualize yourself in that moment. And I'm telling you, give it a try. Really, just like I said, a minute or two. Have a daily routine at 10 o'clock at night for me at work, 10:30, whatever time it works for you in the morning. Just a quiet spot. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking through the day, going to that meeting, coaching that team, whatever it is. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. You're probably wondering, well, what were the results that I have found from this? Well, I can't really tell you because we won't find the results until about mid-December. And it takes a couple of things into effect. It takes a written score and also our oral interview questions and other things that they graded us on. So I can't really say, will I knock it out of the park because I visualize myself with the written exam? But I will say, though, it personally helped me and it can help you. I am telling you, it is so powerful. Just search online, go on Google, visualization techniques or visualization in sports or military or whatever it is. I just looked now and Oprah Winfrey does it. If Oprah does it, it works. Everybody loves her stuff. So that's all I can really say about preparing yourself for success when it comes to staying focused and motivated. And also, too, at the end of the day, know what you're doing it for. Realize you're doing it for not only yourself, but you're doing it for your family. A huge thing for me is to achieve this for my wife and my child, because I understand that they're going through the dirt and mud along with me. This was difficult for myself, but I know that it was not easy for my wife to pick up all the extra slack. It was not easy for my son to not know who his father was for the last 2 months. I mean, I still saw him, but you know what I mean? And it's something that you need to personally do for yourself. And one other thing that you cannot train, you cannot learn, maybe you can, but it's that internal drive. Everybody has it. It's different forms for every single person. And for me, it's a personal passion. It's a personal desire. Anytime a difficult time is falling into my lap, I find it as a challenge and I need to overcome it. For example, the reason why I started this podcast was because of the bankruptcy proceedings. And I realized that this was a horrible time in my life. And I realized, you know what? This is difficult for me, but I realized, though, that other people are going through it too. And throughout this process, I realized, you know what? I want to help people get through it, and I want them to become better because of it. And that's what Operation Self-Reset is all about, is getting through the difficult times, transforming your life. If you're unhappy of whatever it is, how can we improve that and get through it together? And that's what that's why I started this podcast. And I'm going to cut this episode a little short because I kind of want to publish this and get this out there to you guys because I know you have been waiting patiently, and I do appreciate all the emails and support and everything like that. And the things that you can do to really get your life back on the right track is to go to operationselfreset.com. And there on the front page, there is a box with my picture with some bullet points and a opt-in box for email address. And I'm telling you, if you truly feel that this is good, valuable information, if you want more of this content that is simple, precise, and that really does work, please subscribe to the email list. All I need is your name and email. I'm not going to sell it to any other spammers, or this is just between me and you. We are in this together. I want to improve as much as you want to improve. I thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for your support. And if you need that extra little support, if you need that little extra oomph and you want to talk to me, feel free to email me at support@operationselfreset.com. Again, support@operationselfreset.com. I will get back to you as soon as I can. There already have been hundreds of people, thousands, well, not yet, hundreds, we'll say hundreds, of people that emailed me and they're like, you know what, I don't know if I should email you, but this is what's been going on. And I get back to them and they're just shocked. So truly, I have the tools, I have the tips, I have the way of thinking and the way of life to improve. I've gone through the trenches. I'm going through the trenches currently. Even with this promotional exam, I mean, I'm still going through the bankruptcy proceedings. I'm still trying to fight for my buildings. I'm still trying to fight for what I believe is right. And I realize it's not easy. It's not difficult, or it's not difficult. It's not easy doing this day in and day out. But I know that to get that motivation is tough. And the only way to get better at it and to achieve our personal goals of greatness and achieve what we believe is ours to take, of feeling personal pride every single day when we wake on up, is to fight for what we feel is right. So there you go. That is the end of episode 21. Visualize your life better. And also, too, visualization is not just for an activity or a process or one meeting or one game or whatever it is. Visualize your life. Visualize your life better. Visualize yourself losing that weight. Visualize yourself going to a career that you love. Visualize yourself taking your family on that trip that you want so bad, but you feel right now you can't. I'm telling you, it will put your mind in a great positive place, and also, too, will organize your thoughts. And lastly, never forget about why you are here on this planet. Don't forget what your main goals are on this earth. Not only for yourself, but for your family, to better yourself and to better your family, to achieve everything that you can. There is no, guaranteed life when you come onto this planet. Nobody gives you $1 million. Nobody gives you poverty. It's your choice, your decision. The key is, do you want that? How bad do you want it? Do you really want to discover what your life is really made of? And I highly suggest that we do this together. And I'm going to keep on pumping out these podcasts because I truly believe in this, Operation Self Reset, because I know it's powerful, and it's powerful for you too. Again, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate everything. We will catch you in podcast number 22, talking about the other half of the interview process, which was the oral interview. And I have something remarkable that I have to share with you guys that will truly increase your testosterone, increase your motivation, increase the chemicals that are released in your body. And all you have to do is hold a position for 2 minutes. So that's my little hook for episode number 22. Take care. We will catch you then. Keep on resetting your life.